Right. Don't have any updates medically because of the time yet, so I just haven't heard anything all week, but or since yesterday. But just finished grading the tape on my own. Haven't met with the staff yet. But from what we said last night, it's just again, it's like you're disappointed, you're frustrated in a game that we felt like we should have won to a certain extent. You got to give the Rams credit for taking advantage of the opportunities that were given to them. We did not, and we have to clean those things up. So, but we have an opportunity here this week to attack the heck out of this bye week. It's going to, our players get some a chance to really recover and take care of their bodies. And coaches wise, we got some work on our hands to go attack this thing and really continue to streamline what we're doing, how we're coaching it, what we're trying to get done, and have a great plan for next week, so we can really hit the ground running on Monday and ramp into the second half of the season, which is critical for us because we got to start producing better results. Everybody knows that, and onward we go. But we got a big week ahead of us.
Like, just big picture wise, you're 9 games in, bye week coming up, kind of a midway point. Just where do you feel like this team is halfway through?
We're on our way. We're it's not where we want to be. It's not where we expected to be. But I feel like we are I think we're resilient as heck. I mean, our guys, we face, you can just go week by week on the adversity that we faced. A lot of it is self-inflicted adversity, and great football teams don't do that. They eliminate drag. They go they go forward fast together. We're going together. We're just not going fast, right now. So it's our job as coaches to really eliminate that drag and make it clear for the guys. And we might, like I said last night, you got to go into these things with mentality that everything's kind of on the table, So that's you got to go with an open mind, open your lens up a little bit, and go back to work. So, but our guys we'll talk to them here in a minute. We'll meet today, and then we'll move forward.
Coach, simply, what would you say has fallen most below your expectation?
Well, I think it's the operation and the self-inflicted penalties is the most frustrating. That we should have that cleaned up by now. So we got to get that fixed, and the guys know that. We're gonna look into it and see if what we can do operation-wise, practice-wise, things we're coaching. Just kind of look at the whole thing and go attack it. But felt like we should be further along in that regard.
Coach, you guys forced 7 3-and-outs yesterday. That was it only happened once in the previous 115 games for Sean McVay and the Rams. How did the defense go from such an extreme against the Bills to what you saw this week against the Rams?
Well, it's a great opportunity to explain kind of where I feel like our football team is. We've been taking, I was explaining to Brock and Salk, and rightfully so. We deserve a lot of the criticism that we've been getting defensively. I feel like but you're kind of banging your head against the wall on some of these things that you're trying to get done schematically and, playing together, communication-wise, all the things, the tackling. But you keep stringing good weeks and good practices together, and all of a sudden, the confidence builds and you start to see some results on Sundays, and that's where we're going as a football team. So offensively, it might be, I don't know if the curve is slanted the same way, but I feel like the approach and the mentality is the same way. So I hope, hopefully we, kind of break through all together here, all 3 phases, and it speaks to the guys' resiliency and kind of their mentality of kind of staying the course and believing in what we're doing. And it was good to see us take a step in the right direction last night because the guys deserved it.
From a defensive coach's standpoint, what are you seeing the offensive line struggle with in the run game, particularly in those short yardage situations? I believe 7 runs in the red zone the last 2 weeks that have netted 0 or negative yards.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and as coaches, we need to help them out as well. It's not just the players. It's everybody. It's everybody upstairs. It's everybody on the first floor, players and coaches included. We need to get more movement at the point of attack. I mean, it's just, got to find a dent in it and rock and roll. There's not a lot of space when you got 11 guys in the box, but the good teams figure out a way to get it done. So that'll be a big priority for us this week.
Are the snap errors communication stuff or fundamental stuff, or what's kind of the fix for that?
It's both right now. So again, that's something that we're going to be looking at.
Understanding that all penalties are obviously not created equal, I think either way you guys lead the league. Why do you think that is, that you guys are so penalized through 9 games?
I don't know if, I mean, do I have a specific reason? No, but we need to play cleaner football. I mean, that's obvious. And it's our responsibility as coaches to make sure our guys are playing clean football. So we're going to continue to emphasize it. And again, I mean, you guys are hitting the things that, these are big topics of conversation that will be had over the next few days where we can attack this thing and feel like we have a great plan.
When you say everything's on the table, Mike, is that personnel, is that scheme, is that schedule, training?
All the above. I mean, I think we're doing a lot of good things, but if you go in kind of just with a myopic view of, hey, it's only over here, then you might miss something. I don't want to miss something. So let's go through it with a fine-tooth comb and let's be honest and let's go.
I know the players gone, and you guys are still here working, or?
They're here today, and then they'll be out the rest of the week.
John Schneider's talked about his philosophy on interior offensive line that might differ from others in the league, and curious if you had a difference in perspective on what you think the value of interior offensive line play, if that's something you and John have spent some time talking about.
Of course, yeah, we're talking about how we're going to build our football team. Every position is important. It's the way it is. I mean, people have been giving linebackers a hard time. I feel like they're starting to show their worth again of how important those guys are to your football team. Interior line's the same thing. So our guys are fighting their tails off. So we got to help them out, and we got to execute better, and we got to work together on it. So it's pretty cut and dry.
Speaking of linebackers, what an extra week for Ernest Jones do just to get another week in the system and playing with T-Dot and everything?
Yeah, it's a great point. I do feel like having some consistency in who's aligning next to who on our defense helped. To the former point of like, hey, how do you guys take a step? Well, it's good when you guys got the same crew out there and you're able to stack a lot of reps next to each other. So, but at a linebacker spot, it felt like they took a step last night, especially Ernest.
What led to Cody White kind of suddenly, I guess, playing as much as he did Sunday?
Well, DK's situation was still up in the air throughout the week, and Cody's a guy similar to like what Kobe's been doing and like what Josh Joe's been doing on practice squad, having a hard time covering this dude, and just does everything right all the time, plays extremely hard, knows all the spots. Had a lot of confidence in him going out there. I know the guys were juiced to go give him an opportunity. So, we probably should have won the game because of what Cody was able to do, and that's frustrating because he earned some recognition last night.
As a coach, is that a pretty rewarding part of the job when you see guys
Yeah,
work their way up?
it's probably the best part of the job when you see guys grow, and like what gets you hooked is when guys do stuff one day that they haven't done the day before, and to see hard work really pay off, and to see, these guys, they work extremely hard, and a lot of them are working in the shadows, to help the rest of the team, and we had a crew come visit us last week, and one of the people said that they wanted to be a force multiplier for their football team or for their squad, and felt like some of these guys that are really working for our teams are force multipliers for us. I think Cody's one of those people.
You mentioned yesterday that Trey's still working back from his injury, but now that Josh Jobe has exhausted his practice squad elevations, do you feel like he has earned an opportunity now to be on the roster?
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a couple personnel decisions this week, so that'll be on the docket for sure.
There's some examples of decisions or changes you'd consider making during a bye week that you wouldn't normally consider making in any other week.
Decisions that say that again.
Changes you make that you'd entertain during a bye week with a little more time.
Well, I think you have a little bit more time to take a breath, and some things you're not like path dependent on, either schematically, personnel wise. You feel like you can maybe take more of a detour than you would on a normal week schedule.
Mike, in your evaluation, how do you balance trust, urgency, accountability, and patience? Like I know you've got time, but how much do you state who you are in this process?
Because we have the bye? I think it's the same. I think I really believe in our process and what we're trying to achieve as a team and the foundation that we're building, and we're chasing it. We're chasing to make that kind of vision come to life. We talked about it last night, after the game. creating this environment that's a nightmare for teams that come in and play us. And you see it in like spots. And that should be optimistic moving forward, but it's also a reminder that we're not there yet. And we need to get there. We need to get there in a hurry.
This morning, I believe, if I heard it right, you mentioned you were able to constrict space on defense. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the Rams do a great job of getting hats on hats in the run game. So you're never gonna be like +1 the way they have it built. So people have to beat blocks and move blockers into gaps and move bodies. And the run game, it's about moving people. And so whoever moves more people is going to be more successful. So I thought our guys did a great job of that. And that's the interior guys. We're playing a lot of 4-down last night. I thought the edge guys did a great job playing the C gap. I won't say C area. And then like the nickels and like Kayvon, Spoon, the backers did a good job as well. So we didn't really need the safeties to show up as much.
Is there a chance Abe Lucas might play against San Francisco?
There is a chance. Yeah.
What have you thought of Byron Murphy last couple games since he's got back in the lineup for you?
Well, I thought he took a step from last week to this week. I think the whole defense did that. But want to keep him coming. Keep putting him in positions to affect the game the way he does. Sometimes it doesn't feel like he does, because of the position he plays. But this guy plays really hard. He plays tough. And we got to keep finding ways for him to affect the game.
When you talked about weighing the decision on field goal versus going for it in overtime, you talked about giving Stafford 4 downs versus 3. Can you explain your weighing there and how that changes your thinking when an offense has 4 downs?
Well, yeah, sure. So I mean, they would if you played it out, and let's say we kicked the field goal, and they would be down 3, so they'd have 4 downs all the way into field goal range. Then they'd be back to, on 4th down, they'd probably be kicking the field goal in that situation. So I think it's a lot of respect for their operation, what happened at the end of the half, for them almost getting into field. If they would have had 4 downs at the end of the half or at the end of the game, they would have had a 4th and 2. They would have another down, to try to get into field range. So that would have been a similar situation that you could play out. And then I just felt like we were running the ball well. I just finished watching the tape that drive. The run game finally started to come alive in that series of downs. I really felt like we were a block away from getting K9. I just had a vision of him scoring at some point, and felt like we had 2 good plays. And again, like the results don't mirror those things. It's frustrating to watch it. We're gonna have to have a better plan moving forward. But so I felt like I was optimistic and confident in our offensive operation, and then keeping them out of a 4-down situation as well.
How much of a factor was overtime was almost half over already? And that did you assume you wouldn't get the ball back again?
No, I felt like there's still enough time, and that's also a factor. So let's say they go down and kick the field goal. Now you're back in sudden death. So that's the argument too for always taking the ball first, thinking that you'd have the 3rd possession. It does, it's just without getting it all like how we think, to help other teams, but that's definitely a factor. Yeah.
How did you assess Reek Woolen's day yesterday?
Well, I think on the whole, he made some plays that help us win the game. Reek will probably tell you, hey, had some great opportunities to close it out for us. Would love him to go attack the ball. He knows that. And the pick that he had at the end of the half. I mean, think about that series of events. We go down, get the score before the end of the half, then we get the interception and go down, and our offense does a great job, situational football, of getting the score because we knew they were getting the ball in the second half, staying aggressive, all those things, and kind of made all it come to life. So, but there are also a couple of plays like penalty-wise we'll look at that, see how we can play those things better, make smarter decisions, and then let's go get the football.
Geno Smith was under pressure almost 60% of his dropbacks yesterday. Can you talk about just how challenging it is to get a clean evaluation of your quarterback when he's under that much pressure?
Yeah, it's really we got to do a better job of taking care of Geno, throughout the course of the game. I mean, that's we have to be more efficient on those early downs so teams aren't teeing off on us on 2nd and long, and it's hard. It's hard. Now, in those situations, we do have, at the end of the day, we got to be ball dominant. So we can't put the ball in harm's way. Geno knows that. I know that's why he's really hard on himself right now. but it is more of a reflection of us as a football team than just Geno when when the quarterback's getting hit. So we got to do a better job.
Christian Haynes was inactive yesterday. Where does he stand, I guess, in things right now?
He's right there. You just keep competing. We felt like the reason he was inactive is his numbers thing. It's not Jalen needed to be up and Olu because of some positional flexibility. So, but keep competing. Just like you see with all these guys, there's going to be another opportunity. You got to go earn it every day in practice. That's the message. Guys that bring it every day and show up in practice and show up in games and help us win, they're going to play. If you take a step back, then you got to be accountable.
I think Grubb was mentioning in like critical third down, fourth down stuff. He has like a package of plays that he goes into each game with. When you look at those throughout the 9 weeks, are you happy with the package of those plays, regardless of the results of them, just what he's going into the game with?
Well, yeah, it's not like he just sits in his office and just dreams this stuff up. This is a team effort. These are things that we practice throughout the week. We review as a staff. It's not good enough right now. It's just again, these are things that we're not converting in these short yardage situations. It makes it difficult to make those decisions in real time, and you want to be confident and excited about those plays. So right now, we're not converting at the percentage that we need to be converting at, to be a championship caliber team.
What'd you make of Jackson's day yesterday? Watching it back, he would have had 250 some yards receiving.
Yeah, it's too bad that he got those called back because he really deserved to have a great game. I'll tell you what, we challenged him in the run game too, and this guy did a dynamite job digging out receivers, blocking force, playing really hard every snap. So we really answered the bell on that front. I know Jackson can get open, he can catch it with the best of them, but to see him play a complete game and really block his tail off as well and be there for his teammates, I thought was pretty awesome.
On the whole, how do you feel about how Geno's played through 9 games?
We got all the confidence in the world with Geno.
And just to clarify, everything still points to DK being able to be back against the 49ers?
I don't want to, I got to be careful how I phrase this one, Bob. It's yeah, we're confident. I know it's a little bit more, it's got to be frustrating for DK. I mean, this guy's been healthy his whole career, and then he has something that it just requires more time than, even for an elite human that he is. It just is what it is. So right now we're working through it, and he's doing everything he can to get back as soon as possible. But having the extra week will definitely help.
How have you noticed defenses playing you without him?
Well, I mean, that we saw a lot of single high last night, but I don't think that's any different than what we've been seeing throughout the year. So I think each team's kind of looking at us differently through the lens of what they do well. But 2-game sample size, 2 different types of styles on defense, probably tough to answer that one accurately.
Anything else?
Okay. All right. Thank you.